Implementing these 6 pillars into your OnlyFans game is going to help you hit 10K per month within 30 days. I've worked with hundreds of creators who struggled to gain new fans, thought the algorithm was against them, only had a handful of fans who actually bought their content and were burning out creating content that didn't seem worth creating. So before you quit OnlyFans, I'm going to give you the proven method that is helping some of my clients hit 10K months, 10K weeks and 90K months. My name's Ellis and I'm the owner of Amore Consulting. I was an OnlyFans creator for 5 years and earned over $500,000 doing OnlyFans as a side hustle. After studying social media marketing for 3 years, I decided to help OnlyFans creators make small tweaks to their social media content and sales strategies to make the stigma of being an OnlyFans creator actually worth it. The 6-pillar system that I'm going to help you build today is a system called the BS4C system. I've studied over 50 of the top creators within this space like Sophie Rain, Jelly Bean Brains and many more over the last 2 years to build this 6-pillar system. So before we get into it, let me break it down for you. The B is for branding. If you look at all of the top creators that I'm going to talk about in this video that are at the top of their game, they have all built a solid brand based around their social media content. Jelly Beans, for example, she's built a brand based on funny skits that hook her audience in through entertaining and sexy content, whilst also causing controversy in the things that she does and says, like destroying nice cars, which causes a lot of engagement in the comments. And usually it's guys getting pissed off at her for doing this, but it doesn't matter because it creates engagement, which then creates followers, which then creates fans, which turns into money. So she's managed to attract a large audience of car lovers and a bunch of horny guys who get entertained and probably turned on at the skits that she films looking cute wearing skimpy clothes. Sophie Rain, a 20-year-old creator who made $47 million on OnlyFans in 2024 and grew to almost 6 million followers on Instagram alone just through jumping on trending dancers, collaborations and funny skits. Another example is Camilla, who built a brand around the color pink, podcast clips, funny skits and funny faces. I'm not saying that you should do the same content verticals as these creators, but acknowledge that they've built a brand by only focusing on 3 to 5 different content verticals. So before I break down how to actually build a brand that's perfect for you, I'm going to talk to you about the next step in the BS4C system, which is schedule. And this is something that 99% of OnlyFans creators struggle to get dialed in, usually because creating content can be overwhelming, especially if you've got no sense of direction of what content you should actually create, as well as trying to juggle all of the other tasks that it takes to be an OnlyFans creator, like chatting, editing and creating content, posting, being present on social media, and many, many more tasks. And a lot of creators experience the same thing. It isn't just you, but by having some mental clarity on the content that you're going to create, plus a good routine, it's easy to build a schedule that you can stick to be more creative and consistent. And the next pillar is content. I'm going to break down what content you should be creating as an OnlyFans creator to reach your target audience, while still sticking to guidelines on social media to avoid getting shadow banned or deleted, but still creating viral content. And of course, within the content pillar is OnlyFans content, making the right content for the right fans to avoid you spending time and effort creating content for only 5% of your audience to actually buy that content, which can be disheartening and start to make OnlyFans not feel worth it. But that all stops today. Today, I'm going to give you the secret that my clients use that are going to help you create content that's irresistible to your fans. Then we have confidence. If you look at all the creators that I'm talking about in this video, they all come across as super confident on social media. Whether or not they are this confident in real life, I have no idea, but we just recently signed the most introverted creator I have ever spoken to in my entire life. She had so many limiting beliefs. She shy and embarrassed to post certain types of content on social media, and I'm going to tell you guys exactly what I told her, which has made her come across as 100 times more confident in her content and on social media. And then there's communication. It's all good and well being able to create viral content and gain loads of new fans on OnlyFans, but if you don't have the time, bandwidth or knowledge to be able to communicate with your fans, to build relationships and then sell content, you're not going to make any money, which is just going to leave you stuck in the OnlyFans hell loop, which looks something like this. You gain a couple of new fans, you start chatting to them a little bit, hopefully selling some content. They don't buy much content, so you get bored. They lose interest. They unsubscribe after 30 days and go and watch some other creator. Your fan count goes on a decline. Your money goes on a decline. And before you know it, you're back working a 9-to-5 job and hating life. The final pillar is consistency. With all the pillars that we've already spoke about, you need to be consistent. The good thing is, once you get the other 5 pillars dialed in, consistency comes off the back of that. So once you've built a solid brand, creating content that you enjoy creating, you can build a schedule that you can stick to, which is going to make you more confident, and you're going to have more time and bandwidth to communicate with your audience. So whatever your current mindset is, be prepared to change it by the end of this video, because trust me when I say this, becoming a successful OnlyFans creator is much easier than you think. The big creators out there have just dialed in the 6 pillars of this BS4C system, and they've done it really, really well. So grab a notepad and let's put all this together. Although branding sounds quite complicated, it's actually pretty simple. You are the brand, and your brand is built on the content that you create and the value that you provide your audience, whether that's entertainment, education, being relatable or likable. And we use the tip of the tongue test to see if your brand is built well enough. So if you imagine 2 guys having a conversation about you or another creator, and they say, what's that girl's name now? She's the little petite girl. She always wears the skimpy clothes. She lives in America. She does like the funny skits and like the handshake with the boyfriend and stuff. Oh, I'm not sure. You know, the one who stamps on the car windshield and she does these crazy dances and she's just doing stuff on the bonnet. Oh, I know you're talking about. You're talking about the jelly beans. That's the one. Yeah. So it's like on the tip of the tongue, and she's known for like certain things like destroying cars, doing crazy dances and doing like handshakes and skits with her boyfriend, and that is all she does. It's crazy. You can also base your branding around colors. So like, for example, Camilla, she's based her brand around the color pink, and she's always saying, oh, is it pink? Or it's pink, or whatever she says. She also obviously does the funny skits, and she's renowned for pulling crazy faces, which hook her audience into watching the first 5 seconds of her videos. As well as all that, your username and your display picture are also pretty important. So here's a couple of steps that you can take to make your brand look a bit more effective. Make sure your handle on social media stands out. You know, the thing that comes after the @ on Instagram and stuff. For example, don't have Lisa Smith or Emma UK. Mine's the Duke, for example. Don't know why. I'm not a Duke, but it stands out. It looks cool and it's memorable. But you don't need to worry about thinking of your handle now. You can think of that once you figure out what content you're going to create and how you want your brand to actually look. You should also use a display picture that stands out. If your display picture is you in a bikini, it's going to be embarrassing if it is. You're going to look like every single girl on social media. If you have a niche, if you're a cosplayer, gamer, gym girl, whatever it is, that should reflect in your display picture. If you don't have a niche, then it should be one of your best features. If you've got big boobs, show that in your DP. Obviously don't get them out. If you've got a nice face, have a headshot. You should also make your display picture look nice and bright so you can edit it, use something like CapCut or Canva, and just really make it stand out. Next is how you communicate with your audience, whether that's captions on your pictures, text on your screen, talking to the camera. Whatever way you communicate with your audience, it should be natural, it should be authentic, and it should be you. By the way, nobody cares what you actually sound like. Nobody cringes at your voice. Nobody's going to go and tell a friend, oh my God, look at her speaking on camera, what the fuck. When you watch videos of girls talking, whether it's TikTok or Instagram or YouTube, do you ever cringe at them? No, you don't. You never cringe at that shit, because it's not like, people don't care. The only person who's criticizing you is you. So start speaking to the camera if you're not already speaking to. But when you do, you need to be natural and authentic, because that is a big part of your brand as well. And then there's your content. It is time to stop shiny object syndrome. Seeing the latest creator go viral with a certain trend of content that you don't actually ever create, trying it yourself, that flops because none of your target audience have ever seen you do that content. So then you jump onto the next shiny object. That's all stopping today. I'm going to give you access to all the proven content verticals that me and my clients are using, so you can pick 3 to 5 verticals that are going to work for you. In fact, before we get into building your bulletproof schedule, let's just get into the content. I'm going to give you access right now to the content verticals that are working for my clients, getting them these results. But it is important that you pick 3 to 5 of these verticals and you stick to these over the next 6 weeks. Don't get any more shiny object syndrome. How it works for my clients is, once I onboard a model, I send them all of these content verticals and I say, have a read through the documents, watch the videos, and pick 3 to 5 verticals that you think you can recreate over the next 6 weeks. They then send them back to me and say, I think I can do these 3 or these 5. So I find an example from each vertical that they give me, and I say, go ahead and recreate those and let me check the quality of your work. So it could be like podcast clips, it could be skits, it could be Snapchat. They send me them back, I watch them, I quality check them, and I say, okay, yeah, pretty good, I'm happy for you to do those. So then I put those 3 verticals into their vertical blueprint document, and I give them that, and we test them over a 6-week period. My clients are creating 21 reels per week. Sounds like a lot, but it's not. So it gives them an ability to be able to post 3 times per day. And over 6 weeks, I am consistently tracking every single metric of their content, so that when it gets to week 5, we can pull the content verticals out that are not working, and we can go all in on the verticals that are. So that's a little bit of an insight as to how we work it with my creators. The first content vertical we're going to speak about are skits. Now, we've already seen these with Jelly Beans, Camilla, and Sophie Rain, and these are designed to create engaging and often entertaining pieces of content with an element of comedy, with a little bit of a sexual theme. Now, I know I spoke about don't have shiny object syndrome, which means don't copy what people are doing, but that only doesn't work if it's something you don't do. A totally different content version of this is if your content vertical was skits and two of the other verticals I'm going to speak about, then by all means, go and copy every single skit and those other two versions as you want, as long as it aligns with you and your brand and the line of content that you're going to be doing. Here is a couple of examples of what skits look like, just to give you a better understanding. Feel free to follow some of these creators. They are absolutely killing it in the game at the moment. That's only if this is a content vertical that you're going to go down. Go into their content, save some of the viral videos that you think you can recreate and recreate them in your own time. Okay, so the gym and yoga vertical. If you are a gym and yoga goer and you enjoy it and you train or go to yoga multiple times a week, then this content vertical could be for you. If you don't do it often and you don't really enjoy it, it's not for you. Don't do it just because you think it looks cool, because you will never be able to be consistent. Only do it if it actually aligns with things that you do on a day-to-day basis and enjoy doing. Now, the good thing about the gym vertical is you can take it down so many different routes. You can go down the entertaining side where you're doing like clickbaity yoga stretches or gym sessions with your cleavage or your camel or your boob showing or whatever it is. And you can also go down the educational side depending on what level of knowledge you have in the gym and how actually into the gym you are. Yes, I know what you're saying. Well, do I really want to build a target audience up of girls who want to learn about the gym? No, not really. You're kind of right there. But as long as you're looking sexy and you're doing like the other side of it as well, you're still going to build up a big target audience of guys or girls, depending on who you are, who love watching the other person train in the gym. So it's still going to work. It's going to go really well. Then you've got the office and secretary distraction vertical. Again, if you want to do this vertical, follow these creators, save some of their content so that you can recreate it. If it's not, don't do it. Here's some more examples. Okay, then you've got the walking down the street public reaction vertical. You'll have seen these everywhere. Now, I'm not sure what these creators are doing to get so many looks. Maybe they've got something on the face, maybe they've got writing on the forehead, pulling funny faces. I don't know what it is, but they get reactions. You can do this. You could either wear like a small crop top, you could have your nipples showing, you could be wearing revealing clothes, and as you're walking down the street, all you need is a +1 standing behind you, filming you walking and people's reactions. And then the power is in the edit. Once people look, you kind of like zoom in and crop in, but you can use CapCut or you can just use Instagram to do the edits. It's super quick and super easy to film. Walk down one long main street looking underdressed and you'll get lots of reactions. It's a really easy content vertical to go down. So again, save some of these creators, save some of these videos. There's the Snapchat vertical, which I spoke about earlier. Really easy to film. These are all pre-scripted videos. Here's a few examples. I won't go deep into this, but you get the idea. You can be creative and script your own videos, or you can follow some of these examples. The good thing is millions of creators, especially OnlyFans creators, are doing this vertical, so it's quite easy to find them and recreate them in your own version. And there's a couple more simple verticals that you can try, like the housewife vertical, cooking, cleaning, baking, and all that kind. But if you really want to take content creation serious and take it to the next level, you should try some of these verticals. Podcast clips. So Camilla does an amazing job of this vertical. She is not a long form podcast host at all. She focuses strictly on short form content, and how she smashes this vertical is she'll script 30 topics or ideas that she wants to speak about in this filming session. She'll get a podcast set, which will be like a nice backdrop. She'll have a mic there, which won't even be plugged in. It'll have like a wireless mic attached to the side of it. And she'll just sit there with either a little brother, which is pretty weird, or her OnlyFans friends, and she'll just talk about topics that she knows is going to cause controversy or create engagement in her comments. And she does it really well. Now, I could film a whole video talking about the podcast vertical because there's so many interesting things that make it successful, but instead I'm just going to show you some examples real quick. And then there is the Omegle vertical, very similar to the podcast vertical, nice and easy, super simple. It's easy to get a lot of volume of content when doing Omegle. You just take a load of notes of things you're going to talk about, set your camera up on your screen, dress nice and smart, and get lots of footage. Here's a few examples. And finally, you can do the text-to-speech vertical, which looks something like this. Just make sure you only pick 3 to 5 of those content verticals and go all in. And I already know what some of you guys are thinking when it comes to looking at and choosing some of these content verticals. I don't have the confidence for that. I don't want to talk on camera. What if someone sees it? What if someone calls me cringy? And I've already said this, but it needs to stop today. You are on this planet for 70 years. If you are going to let the comments and thoughts of random people who you don't know or care about hold you back from actually doing something with your life, then OnlyFans is not for you. You're going to be sat on your deathbed at 70, 75 years old, looking back at life where you've not really been able to retire properly because you've let yourself get held back by other people's thoughts, when actually people probably aren't even thinking or saying anything. It's in your head most of the time. Don't do it to yourself. Create generational wealth, create a better family for yourself, and think about yourself. That is it. That's all you need to do. Stop caring. point. Now that you've saved your 3 to 5 content verticals, write them down, and it's time to start following the creators that are killing it within those verticals. Maybe I've already popped them on screen, maybe you've already started searching whilst you're watching this video, but you need to write them down so that you can follow them, save some of their content verticals, which is going to help you build your content schedule. Before I show you how to sell more content on OnlyFans than you've ever imagined, let's get into building your perfect schedule. As I mentioned before, one of the main reasons why OnlyFans creators fall out of love with being a creator is because they don't have a schedule. They don't have clarity on chatting, creating and editing content, selling and posting content, bringing fans to the page, making money, and all of that combined just makes them hate OnlyFans in the end. So I'm going to give you an insight as to what a week in one of my clients' shoes would look like when it comes to schedule. So let's get into it. Sundays are all about finding content inspiration. So let's say if my client has 3 content verticals of Omegle, podcasts, and skits. Their mission on a Sunday is to go to Instagram or TikTok and find 21 pieces of content. It could be 7 of each. The reason why it's 21 is because they post 3 times per day throughout the week. Now, most of my clients have mastered filming 21 pieces of content in one day. It's possible, it's pretty easy. Some of them go into 2. So let's say Monday is filming 21 pieces of content. Sometimes it goes into Tuesday, maybe Tuesday morning. Tuesday and Tuesday afternoon is editing the content, getting it ready for the following week, creating thumbnails, doing titles, creating a posting schedule for the following week, and just basically being on top of everything. Now, Wednesday, I would recommend that my creators go live on OnlyFans, and that is it. Take a break from creating and just go live on an evening, build a connection with your fans, and leave it at that. Thursday, create your OnlyFans content. We do not need a lot of content from our OF creators. OF creators get under this illusion that, oh my God, I need to be creating so much content, I need to be doing this, I need to create more content because less people are buying it. It doesn't make sense. So I say to my creators, create me 2 scripts per week, which take 15 minutes to film each, and they make an absolute fortune with fans. Film 1 to 3 to 5 minute PPVs, takes 15 minutes max, and take 7 OnlyFans wall posts. Get some variation in them, don't take 7 of the same posts. And that altogether combined takes about 4 hours. So 4 hours per week for OnlyFans content. That's it. Fridays are good days to go live on TikTok or Instagram or something like that, anywhere social media wise. And Saturdays, have it off, do your own thing, do some shopping, go and spend all this money that you're earning. When it gets back to Sunday, you get back into the same routine. In and around this schedule that you've now built, it's important to also focus on your chatting, building relationships, and obviously selling content to your fans on OF. Pretty much every single creator that I've worked with or spoken to in the past have experienced this same vicious OnlyFans cycle. Now, I've spoke about it a little bit earlier, but I'm going to go into some more depth about it right now. So you gain some new fans, you gain some fans, you start speaking to them a little bit, you try and make some sales. Some of them get pissed off, they don't want to buy content because they've just paid to subscribe. Some of them just genuinely aren't interested. Your wall post might do enough for them, but you get a couple of buyers. You get some buyers spending money, so you go, come here buyers. You put them to one side. You like these people, you start speaking to these people, building a bit more of a relationship, basically just being nice because they're spending money, so you're keeping them sweet. But also, these guys are not making you enough money because there's not enough of them and they're not spending enough. So you make content and you send it out to everyone. You schedule a mass message out to go to all your fans. But this group of people, you haven't built enough of a relationship with them. You haven't got them used to spending. They're not buying your content. So you feel bad. So you're like, right, I'm gonna have to do more. I'm gonna have to push my limits, push my levels up, expand my boundaries. So you film more content, you send it out, still doesn't make sense, still doesn't make sales. So, okay, I'm gonna lower my prices. So you lower your prices, you depreciate your content, and you send it out to everyone, and still you just don't get sales. So now you're left here, you're disheartened, you've pushed your limits to the boundaries, you've lowered your prices, you've set your bar, and you just got a couple of like skimpy guys that just like, they'll give you a little bit of a little bit of money for your content when they've actually got it. And you get stuck in that vicious loop. Now what happens then is you lose interest, you stop making social media content because you think that your content on OF is shocking just because people are not buying it, which isn't the case. The fans that you've not been able to give attention to, that you don't like them anymore, you sort of feel a bit of resentment towards them because they're not buying your content, they're being a bit rude maybe, they start to decline, you start to lose them people. But a couple of loyal people stay. You're trying to give them attention, but again, you fell out of love with creating OnlyFans content, so you're just trying to give them it, but you're not really getting much back. So a couple of them lose interest to find new creators, or they spend all the money, or they go back to the girlfriends, or whatever it is, and now you're just left with 1 or 2 good buyers and a few fans that just linger on your page. And that is the vicious OnlyFans hell loop, because you get motivated again, you see content, or you get like 1 good piece of content on social media that goes semi-viral and you get some new fans, you get excited and you start the process again. Now that is the vicious cycle. And like I've said, this is the system that all the top creators are using. They are not talking about this. They're probably going to hate me for actually revealing this to everyone, but I don't give a shit. shit. There's over 400 million OnlyFans users on the platform and only 4 million creators. There is enough money to go around everyone, which is why I'm giving everyone this information. I want all creators to succeed. I've experienced it myself as an OF creator. I fell out of love. I did the vicious cycle. I didn't understand what was going on. And when I made the simple tweaks to my account and realized how easy it was to make money and then turned it into an OnlyFans management agency, I just think, why not give everybody a taste of that success? Start creating content that your fans actually want to see. Ooh, what do you mean by that, Ellis? I'll tell you what I mean. So before you even think about creating content, it is super important, and I talked about it a second ago, building relationships and talking to your fan base. When you're talking to your fans, you know, I said you had these little people at the side and you're sort of building a relationship, keeping them sweet. You weren't being smart with your communication. You weren't actually trying to find information for a reason. You were just talking to them because they were giving you money. That was it. There are 5 key pieces of information that you need to retain from your fans when you're communicating with them. You need to be curious. You need to be showing genuine interest into their lives, their families, their jobs, whatever it is they're into, and I'm going to tell you how. So number 1, you want to find out where they are from. Number 2, you want to find out their age. Number 3 is what they do for a living. Then you're going to have an insight as to what their spending habits can be. For instance, if they work at a car wash, washing cars, you're not going to even have much time. If they are wealthy businessmen, you can start to invest more time into them. Number 4, what kind of things are they into? That way you're going to be able to relate to them, have conversations. For example, oh, what kind of stuff do you like to do on the weekend? Oh, I like to go golfing with my friends and then I go to the pub. I pretty much do that every weekend. Then every time it gets to Thursday or Friday, you can be saying, hey, Bob, how you doing? Are you playing golf this weekend? What course are you playing? Me and you are going to have to go for a round. Would you teach me? What's your handicap? You can actually relate to them. That way they actually feel like they're in a relationship and you're interested in what they do. They're not just talking at you. And finally, number 5, the most important thing is finding out what content they want to see. Finding out what their kinks are, what their fetishes are, what sort of stuff they want to see. And the reason why we're doing that is so you can create content specific for each individual fan. Again, you're going to think, well, how am I going to remember all of this? How am I going to do it? You can use fan notes on OnlyFans. For each individual fan, you can write down anything that you ask them in there as a reminder. So if you come to their chat in 3 weeks' time, you can look in there, find something that you can relate to, start a conversation with, send them content they like. You can use fan notes, and you should be disciplined with this. Each fan that you've got should have a full list of fan notes inside of it. As well as that, you can create lists. So if you are speaking to a fan and he says, I really want to see you do feet content, you create a list and say feet lovers, and you put him in it. And then you talk to a guy who says, I really love to see you do boy girl content. You make a boy girl lovers list and you stick him in it. And over time, you start to build your list up. So let's imagine you have 20 fans in the feet lovers, 20 fans in the boy girl lovers, and 50 fans in the risky outdoor content lovers. You then have a great idea of what content you should be creating. So you can go off, you can create your boy girl content, your risky outdoor stuff, your feet content, and you can send it to these specific groups. You don't even have to go through and have one-by-one conversations. You can just mass message it to the feet lovers, send them the feet content, and chances are they're all going to buy it and you can charge a higher price. Now, if you want to, you can still send it to the rest of your fans and exclude the feet fans and send it for a lower price. That way, they may still buy the content, but there's no risk of them saying no and turning their nose up when you try and charge them $200 per piece of content. And the fact that you've been building relationships with each individual fan and speaking to each individual person to get this information means that you've built a relationship with them. You've got a bond and a connection with these people. Whereas before, when you were talking to your fans and they weren't buying content and you were getting pissed off, you just didn't have a conversation with them. You didn't feel that connection. They were gone. They didn't want to buy content and you were fighting a losing battle. Now, you've spoken to all your fans. You've retained all their information. You can be more personal. You can be more specific, and then you're going to make more sales on OnlyFans. Before I bring this video to an end, I just wanted to mention that I currently have 2 spaces available to work with me and my team. We only work with driven and hard-working creators. By the time you're watching this video, the 2 slots may have actually gone. But if you are interested and you want to apply to work with us, you can click the link in my description or type in amoreconsulting.co in Google, or you can contact me on Instagram at the Duke or on Twitter at Ellis Lacey UK. Thanks for watching this video. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, slap a like on the video. If you have any topics that you want me to talk about, chuck it in the comments. Feel free to subscribe so you don't miss out on any free value videos moving forward. Keep smashing life. You are amazing, and I'll see you in the next one.